While studying the probability theory, in the first two lectures, we have relied upon the use of sample space. So, in the sample space, we actually count the total number of possible outcomes by enlisting them. So, we completely enlist the all possible outcomes in a simple possible manner. But if the sample space becomes very large, or if the problems given are fairly complex or too much complicated, so it is not advisable to construct the entire sample space by completely enlisting the all possible outcomes. Instead, we use in such cases some simple methods of counting which are frequently used which are frequently used in mathematics under the head of combinatorics. So there are three fundamental rules associated with these methods of counting. The first is called as fundamental principle of counting. Fundamental principle of counting. Since we are going to discuss where the sample space is very large, let us say that there are many things which are going to happen. So suppose the first thing happens. So we are going to construct this fundamental principle. Suppose a given first thing happens in say n1 possible ways. So there are n1 different possible outcomes so that this particular event happens. Similarly, we can say that second thing happens in say n2 possible ways. Third thing happens in say n3 possible ways, and so on. So there is no restriction on the number of things which happen one after the another. So the probability that, or sorry, not the probability, we are just counting here, not yet discuss the probability. So the total number of ways, the total number of ways of happening of all these things together is just the multiplication of the individual number of ways. So n1 into n3, n1 into n2 into n3 into so on. So we are going to multiply the total number of ways. Just for an example, this can be understood by giving an example which we are going to discuss later. So this is the first or the fundamental principle of counting. Then comes the term called as permutations. So permutations are nothing but number of ways of doing n things are at a time and is denoted by npn. So there are different possible notations used for permutation. Sorry, npr, or just p of n comma r, or npr, or npr. So these are different possible notations used to denote permutation, that is the number of ways of doing n things are at a time. So what does that mean? So let us take an example where there are n people and n chairs available. So there are n people and n chairs available, and we are supposed to find out the number of ways of arranging n people on these n people on these n chairs. So let us take first person and allow him to sit on the n chairs. So he can choose n number of chairs. That is, he can choose one chair among the n number of chairs available. Now, if we choose second person, he is left with only n minus 1 chairs, since the first person has already occupied one of the chairs. Second person is left with only n minus 1 chairs, and so on. So we see here that as the persons go on occupying, that is, say, third person has only n minus 2 chairs available. Similarly, when the nth person comes, he will be left with only one chair empty, because n minus 1 chairs have already been occupied by the n minus 1 persons. So he is left with only one chair. So what should be the total number of ways of happening of these n things? According to first principle, the total number of ways would be the multiplication of these individual cases, that is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 and so on up to 1. Now this can be written in a shorthand notation as n factorial. N factorial is the product of all the integers up to n starting from 1. So for an example, 3 factorial means 3 into 2 into 1. 5 factorial means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 and so on. So n factorial is simply n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into so on up to 1. So we now see that npn is just equal to n factorial. So number of ways of choosing n people to sit on n chairs is simply n factorial. Now what happens if this other n is different than the first n? So we are going to discuss now the same problem where n people are going to be seated on r number of chairs such that r is less than or equal to n. Of course, we have already discussed what happens when this is less than n. So let us try to understand this when r is we have already discussed the case when r is equal to n. So let us understand what happens if r is less than n. In that case, suppose the first person tries to occupy the chair. He is having an option of selecting a chair among the Okay, let us just try to discuss this in a different way. Suppose there are r chairs and there are n persons. Then the first chair can be occupied by n persons. First chair can be occupied by n persons. Okay. Now the second chair can be occupied by n minus 1 person. Similarly, third chair can be occupied by n minus 2 persons. Since we are going to generalize this result, let us see and let us try to write this in a different manner. N minus 1 can be written as n minus 2 plus 1, right? Similarly, n minus 2 can be written as n minus 3 plus 1, and here we can write it as n minus 1 plus 1. So we see that this n and 1 factor is common everywhere. And when we have first chair here, we have 1. We have second chair here, we have 2. Similarly, for third chair, we have 3 here. Similarly, for earth or last chair, we will have n minus r plus 1. Good. So these are the total number of ways in which each of these chair could be occupied. So what would be the collective total number of ways? The multiplication of all these number of ways. So the total number of ways is going to be n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 and so on up to n minus r plus 1. So this can be rewritten as n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to n minus r plus 1. Now let us try to extend these terms by writing the term previous to this, which is n minus r minus 2. Sorry. R plus 1, the number before that is just r. So n minus r, then n minus r minus 1, n minus r minus 2 and so on up to 1. Since we are introducing this additional factor, let us just copy paste it on the denominator side so that this expression remains unchanged. Now just look at the entire numerator. It is the product of terms starting from n and ending to 1. So that is nothing but n factorial as per our earlier discussion. Similarly, now let us look at the denominator factor or denominator terms. It is the multiplication of terms starting from n minus r to 1. So that is n minus r factorial as per our earlier notation. So this is the total number of ways of doing n things r at a time. That is p of n comma r or simply npr, which is equal to n factorial upon n minus r factorial. So we have constructed a formula for permutation using the fundamental principle of counting. Now let us have a look of the third concept used in counting, which is called as combinations. It is denoted as NCR or C of NR or just N and R in parenthesis. So all these are equivalent notations or say NCR and so on. So it indicates that the number of possible combinations or selections of n things are at a time. For example, suppose there are 4 different choices available A, B, C and D, and if suppose a person is asked to select only 2 of the choices, we write it as 4C2. So that is the number of ways selecting two choices among the 4 choices available. So this is the method or notation used for this particular term called combinations. A suitable formula which can also be proved for NCR is just equal to n factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial. So this is the formula which we are going to use while calculating the number of combinations of n things r at a time. Fine. So let us try to understand these concepts through an example. Suppose there is a club. Suppose there is a club which has 50 members. 50 members. And these 50 members are going to form a committee. Of 4 members in order to run the club. Now those 4 members are having a designation, namely a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. So these are typical 4 posts created in every committee which runs a club. So these 4 positions are a must. Now we can raise 2 possible questions, A and B. Okay. The simplest question is going to be, in how many ways such a committee can be formed? So number of ways of forming a committee of 4 members. Number of ways of forming a committee of 4 members. As per our earlier definition, it is just equal to NCR, or in this case 50C4, that is 50 factorial upon 50 minus 4 factorial into 4 factorial, right? So that is 50 factorial upon 46 factorial into 4 factorial. Now if somebody says that we are going to label the 4 positions by these 4 names, then the number of ways cannot be NCR, since the first post can be occupied by any one member of the 50 members. Then the second post can be occupied by a number less, that is 49, and so on up to 4th member. In this case, if we label the 4 chairs by these 4 names, the total number of ways is going to be 50P4 or NPR, as per the definition of permutations. That is 50 factorial upon 50 minus 4 factorial, or 50 factorial upon 46 factorial, right? This is the simplest example which uses the concepts of combinatorics to calculate the number of ways. And now the probability can be found out by taking the ratio of the number of ways for a given event divided by the number of ways possible, which includes all possible outcomes as per the definition of sample space. Thank you.